Hello and welcome back to Minardi Madness. Champions Week has ended and it did not disappoint. Most of all, March Madness has arrived, so let's get it started.
For the tie, off the rim, and it's over. This miracle run continues. Seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. At midcourt, extra pass. And again, along with Shepard, the best free throw shooter. Five in a stretch. Lob, and that will do it. Do you believe it? For just the second time ever.
All right, so today is Thursday, so the first round games will be starting today. Let's get it started, though, by talking about some conference championships. First off, in the SEC, Florida basically breezed through all the way to the championship, where they took on Tennessee, winning 86-77. Secure themselves a 1 seed in the tournament. One of the hottest, if not the hottest teams, in the nation. They're most likely the hottest team right now, I would say. Got that Auburn win earlier, and they just been keeping it rolling ever since then. Walter Clayton Jr. continuing his just amazing play. He's an All-American this year, and for good reason. He's been balling out all year. Really, I think, you'll see in my bracket, but I think they're definitely going to make a huge run. And then Big Ten championship, really two teams that were not expected to play in Michigan and Wisconsin. Maybe Wisconsin. But honestly, I expected like Michigan State, Maryland as well, maybe even Purdue. But Michigan wins the Big Ten championship 59-53, and this game was really just a defensive battle. Some people may look at that and say, oh, it was a bad game, it was an awful game to watch, but nah. If you were watching, you could see both teams' defensive game plans were just amazing, locking down on both sides, 59-53. And in Dusty May's first year as head coach, he brings the Michigan Wolverines a Big Ten championship. So great job by Dusty May in his first year as the head coach. And then we'll move over to the Big 12. The Big 12 champions are Houston. I obviously saw that coming. They beat Arizona 72-64. They're now very hot. They're on a 13-game win streak. And out of the 4 1 seeds, I would say they're definitely the most underlooked. I would say, a lot of people talk about Duke, Florida, even Auburn with, even how slow they've been getting. But no one really talks about Houston. A lot of people have them getting upset. I think they're pretty good. I do think they'll get upset at some point, but I also think they look pretty good and they could go on a run. So, 13-game win streak. They got a lot of shooters. Milos Uzan, 25 points. Emmanuel Sharp, 17 points in the championship. Sharp's a sniper. They secure themselves a 1 seed after this game and win the Big 12 championship. And then let's head over to the ACC. Duke, they take down Louisville and win the ACC championship. No Cooper Flag, but even with no Cooper Flag, I did see this coming. Louisville did have a great run to the chip. What a year for them. Not a good year last year, sort of underwhelming in basketball recently. But this year definitely turning around. Great record. Number 10 in the nation. Somehow only an 8 seed in the tournament. So that's sort of confusing. But number 10 in the nation, great year for them. For Duke, though, on the other hand, Con Knippel stepping up big in the absence of Cooper Flag. Winning the ACC tournament MVP, just great games for him. 18 points, 8 rebounds. I was thinking he would have to step up as the second leading scorer, even with Flag in. He's been great all year, so good to see him still playing well. And I think also Tyrese Proctor played very well throughout the tournament. Against Louisville, he also had 19. And then the last championship I'll talk about is the Big East, and this is exactly what I expected. Rick Pitino leads the Johnnies to a Big East championship, the first one in 25 years. So, really, what a year for them. What a year for Rick Pitino. Just proving his coaching legacy once again. R.J. Lewis, 29 points, 10 rebounds. He's been a stud all year. And I really just love the way St. John's is looking heading into March. I think they'll definitely make a run. I would totally love them to go far. Really like them this year. So they secure themselves a 2 seed in the tournament. And then we discussed the Power 5 tournaments. I'm going to talk about my bracket with my guy Ben Heltzer, so stay tuned. That'll be right after this short break. All right, welcome, Ben, onto the set. We're going to talk about some of our predictions, the bracket. So let's start off in the South region. Obviously, Auburn, right? And I got a question. Who do you have winning Louisville versus Creighton?
This out of every game, literally the entire tournament, this was the one that I've had the most difficult time with. I've changed my pick on this maybe like 10 times, but I think I'm going to go with Louisville. They're just like on paper, they're undeniably the more talented team, and I just can't overlook that here. So, I've landed on Louisville, but that game's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I went Louisville, but I don't know. I could see Creighton winning too. They have a lot of experience, so I'm hoping that Louisville, with the year they had, they keep it going.
I do think whoever wins will lose to Auburn in the second round.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's definitely a really tough game to call. And the fact that it's the first one, too, like a lot of people's brackets are going to be busted just like
If
that.
Louisville wins, I could definitely, maybe they beat Auburn. I could see that happening, especially with how slow Auburn's been looking, really.
Yeah,
and then for upsets, do you have any upsets in this region?
I do. I have UC San Diego taking down Michigan. I know that's a popular one. And then I also have North Carolina, who just won the playing game to get the 11 seed. I have them continuing that momentum, taking down Ole Miss. But besides that, not too many.
I got quite a few. Number one, I got Yale taking down Texas A&M. I really want to see them win. And then I have North Carolina. I also have them. And I think New Mexico, I think they could take down Marquette with how good they've looked this year. Obviously a lot of people hate on the Mountain West, but they have a stud in Donovan Dent, who's been really good all year. And then who do you have coming out of this region to head to the Final Four?
Yeah, I think overall this is going to be a pretty chalk region, but that being said, I do not have Auburn coming out of this region. I have the number 2 seed, Michigan State, to make it to the Final Four. I'm pretty sure.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, we have the same thing. I'm pretty sure there's a stat no team has ever started the season unranked and then made the Final Four. And I'm pretty sure Michigan State is in a position to break that trend, and I think they'll do it. So, yeah, that's what I got coming out of the South.
I could see so, especially with Tom Izzo coaching. Tom Izzo in March, never bet against him. West region, really, I have Florida all the way.
I agree. Yeah, no, I think that they are, in my opinion, the best team in the country, them and Duke. I just think that the West region is a very good region. I mean, the top 4 seeds are all maybe the best teams of their respective seed, being St. John's, Texas Tech, and Maryland. This region is stacked, but I just think Florida's too good. I just don't see how they don't come out of it.
Yeah, in my Elite 8, I have in this region at least Florida and St. John's. I would love to see St. John's make it all the way, but I think Florida's offense is just too high powered. St. John's is really big on defense, but I don't know. I don't know if Florida would be too much, but all this stuff is unpredictable anyway. I bet really that 50% of my whole bracket's just gonna be wrong.
Yeah, well, we're the same so far, so let's head on over to the East.
Yeah, in this region, I have Duke and Bama battling it out, and I have Duke coming out on top. As a Duke fan, anytime that really they're a number 1 seed or a high contender for the championship, I love to pick them. But this year, it's not just me saying that. I really think that they have a really good chance this year to win, especially hopefully Cooper Flag is healthy. So I think they definitely have a good chance. And then for upsets, sort of. Not too much. I have VCU beating BYU. Vandy, I think they could beat St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is very good. A lot of people are saying they're unathletic, slow, but they're still a very good team. I think Vanderbilt can come out on top on this one, though, just with the slow pace that St. Mary's plays with. I really like Vanderbilt in that one.
Yeah, I agree. I have both of the upsets you just said, VCU and Vandy. And then going back to who I have coming out of the East region, it's the exact same as you. I have the Duke Blue Devils to make the Final Four. I do like to root for Duke as well, so if they are in a position where they're one of the best teams in the country like they are right now, I do like to pick them into the Final Four. I have them beating Wisconsin in the Elite Eight. I think they'll get by Bama in the Sweet 16. And, that's it for me on the East.
Yeah, I could see Wisconsin making it. Wisconsin's been pretty good. Midwest, Houston. How far do you have Houston making it?
I have them losing in the Sweet 16 again to my, I guess, quote unquote Cinderella team. Even though they are a 5 seed, I do have the Clemson Tigers going to the Final Four, making it out of this region. I just think that this rematch between them and Duke in the Final Four is too good to not predict. So I'm just trying to will it to happen.
Yeah, honestly, no, we have very similar brackets, but I have the same exact thing. Clemson beating Houston in the Sweet 16. And if it were to be a team to beat them, I think it would be Clemson. You know, they've looked great all year, able to beat a great team like Duke. I think they have what it takes, and especially like in March, you know, we saw last year as well. They played really well. Clemson's a great team in March, but another team who I could see beating them, I don't have them winning this, but made a lot of brackets, I have them winning. Gonzaga, I think they have a chance.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
beating
I think
Georgia.
they're probably the
And then-
best 8 seed in the tournament. They could come out of nowhere, beat Houston in the round of 32, and then make a run. I don't have it, but I think it could definitely happen.
Yeah, I think they're very underseeded, but yeah, I think Gonzaga definitely could see them. And then for an upset in this one, I have High Point taking down Purdue. Also have Xavier beating Illinois. At first, I wanted it to be Texas. I thought they would have like a better chance, but you know, Xavier took that one, and I have Xavier going all the way to the Sweet 16. Think they could easily beat Illinois. You know, Illinois has been very inconsistent. They're very dependent on how good they shoot the ball. When they don't shoot well, they just don't play well at all. So I think Xavier could beat them, and I think they could also beat Kentucky. I think Kentucky's very overseeded. I don't see why they get a 3 seed, but
Yeah, 11 seeds have been like historically one of the better bottom bottom seeds against like one of the more popular upsets over the past few years, and I think that Kentucky has proven that they could lose to anyone. So I think an Xavier Sweet 16 appearance is very, very likely.
especially those first 4 teams, like the first 4 bid teams who have to play a game, they usually make a run, win a game or two. So I could definitely see Xavier winning.
Yeah,
But yeah, have Clemson coming out of there, and we have the same Final Four.
we do have the same exact Final Four.
Different outcomes, though. Duke versus Florida in the championship. I got Duke taking it all.
I got Duke versus Florida, but I think the Florida Gators are going to be your 2025 March Madness champions.
Listen, I could see it going either way, really, but I think Duke versus Florida, maybe the boring pick, but definitely the highest chance for that to happen. Duke versus Florida,
Yeah, I think
very high-powered.
I haven't been doing brackets for too long, but if there's one thing I've learned is to just pick a 1 seed. Like, don't try and get cute. A 1 seed's
Yeah.
probably going to win, and these 2 teams are, without a doubt, the 2 best teams in the country right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I thank you, Ben, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Much appreciated. That's going to do it for this week. Stay tuned, as we'll have a lot to talk about next week on the show.